recognizable attribute in a character that conveys information to the audience. A trope becomes a cliché when it's overused. Sadly, some of these tropes often perpetuate offensive stereotypes. Does this remind you of a woman? How about this one? Or that one? Yeah, me neither. But somehow these insects have become the inspiration for a whole trope of sexy female characters. The Evil Demon Seductress is a supernatural creature, usually a demon, robot, alien, vampire, most often disguised as a sexy human female. She uses her sexuality and sexual wiles to manipulate, seduce, and kill, and often eat, poor, hapless men by luring them into her evil web. One example of this trope shows up in the form of a Decepticon in Transformers 2, where Isabel Lucas plays an alien robot disguised as a sexy college co-ed sent to kill poor Sam. Then who can forget back in 1995 when Natasha Henstridge starred in the horror film Species, playing the sexy half-human, half-alien hybrid created by the US government. When the alien hybrid escapes into the real world, she sees that human women have babies, and therefore she wants one too. I want a baby.
What? Excuse me?
So she uses her sexual wiles to lure men in and uses her alien strength to kill them. And in the Batman universe, Poison Ivy is another example of the Evil Demon Seductress.
That feels so much better. Together.
And this trope even makes a couple of appearances in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. First, when Xander's seduced by his sexy teacher, who really happens to be a giant praying mantis.
I think it's meanie, miney.
And then again in the last season when performer Shanti seduces Xander.
It can't just keep happening that demon women find me attractive. There's gotta be a reason.
You just seem like a nice guy, that's all. And I wanted to get to know you.
And kill me?
Sure.
It might also be worth mentioning at this point that one of the roots of this trope is based on a misconception that dates back to 1886 with a scientist named Leland Ossian Howard. Howard made the claim that the female praying mantis cannibalizes the heads of her sexual partners after mating. Well, it turns out this isn't exactly true. New scientific research found that the vast majority of female praying mantis species do not, in fact, kill their mates. So back to this trope. The amount of times that this character appears in speculative fiction is kind of astounding. The list goes on and on and on. In Star Trek's First Contact, we have the Borg Queen trying to seduce Data. Keanu Reeves is taken advantage of by the Brides of Dracula. And then, some years later, in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Giles meets these three sisters. In the science fiction show Farscape, there's the villain Grayza with her enchanting body sweat. There are the evil mermaids in Pirates of the Caribbean 4. And Mystique in X-Men often fulfills this trope. In the opening scene of Battlestar Galactica, we meet a human-looking Cylon woman who seduces and kills a man. Men in Black 2 stars a shape-shifting alien who disguises herself as a Victoria's Secret model, and Megan Fox as a man-eating demon in Jennifer's Body. Alright, we get the idea. It's everywhere. And you'll notice that there's variations of this trope between mermaids and sirens and vampires, and their expression of supernatural evil seductress varies. The basic characteristic remains the same. They're using their sexuality as a weapon. This trope is closely connected to its counterpart, the vamp, the Black Widow, the femme fatale, which are human women using their sexuality to manipulate men. Here I'm only focusing on supernatural creatures, but you can see how insidious this trope has become in popular culture. Let's dig a little deeper into what this means. We have a whole collection of supernatural creatures using their sexuality to manipulate and control men in order to fulfill some nefarious plan of doom. You'll notice that these supernatural creatures are not necessarily enjoying or exploring their sexuality. They're not even really being genuinely sexual. They're just using it to manipulate and trick men. So we see over and over again female characters written as the evil demon seductress who are portraying women as manipulative, conniving, and controlling, that these demon women always have ulterior motives, and that their sexuality is dangerous. And they'll probably bite your head off. The harmful misogynist myth that this trope reinforces is that women primarily use their so-called sexual power as a way to manipulate, trick, and control men. This fallacy is widespread and pervasive, and some men even claim that women hold more power in society based on this absurd myth. Thank you, Hollywood, for encouraging and promoting sexist thinking. So what do Hollywood, male viewers, and even female viewers to a lesser extent get out of the Evil Demon Seductress trope? While Hollywood is in the business of selling the status quo, they use these characters to appeal to a male demographic. When an evil demon seductress is on screen, men get to objectify her while having these sexist preconceived notions reconfirmed that women are in fact manipulative and deceitful. And there is a danger of real women internalizing this sexist myth. Instead of believing that our sexuality is something to be explored and celebrated, we're repeatedly told that it's our only form of social power. Hollywood writers, I don't have a problem with you occasionally making some of your villains female, but you've got to stop writing women whose primary weapon is her sexuality. I'll leave you with this clip of Alicia Silverstone in one of the worst movies ever made, saying something kind of cool.
Using feminine wiles to get what you want, trading on your looks? Read a book, sister. That passive-aggressive number went out long ago. Chicks like you give women a bad name.